So as a sports fan, you always joke that it can't get any worse. Unless, of course, you're Scottish, because it can always get worse. You know, not only have I had the misery of supporting Chelsea this year, but also Scotland in the rugby at the weekend. Talk about snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. Only we can do it like that. But hey, my weekend wasn't all bad. I was in London. I travelled to the home of football, Stamford Bridge, except it really wasn't the home of football. Villa, Chelsea, it was one of the worst games I've ever seen. Now, granted, we got 3 points at the moment. We're just grateful for anything. But that has to be one of the worst games of football I've ever watched. When you're actually at a game, it's very, very hard to tell whether it's a good game or not. You can tell whether it's exciting, you know, depending on the goals, the incidents, but it's actually very hard as a fan to really tell whether it's a good game or not. But good God, there was absolutely no doubting how bad the football was. Chelsea were poor and Villa were even worse. I mean, that back line, Hutton, Lescott, Richards and Guzman in goal, it's like a pub team. Seriously, if that is the Premiership, we should all be asking for our TV subscriptions back and season ticket money back. It was so bad. Guys, the product has to get better. It's absolutely awful. Now let's have a talk about Sunday's game, Newcastle-Norwich. Now some of you might think that 6-2 is a great advert for football, great compelling viewing, but let me tell you, it wasn't. It was rubbish. Now there's a far more qualified and famous Scottish person than me who used to harp on about terrible defending. Well, he would have been having absolute kittens watching that on Sunday. It was so terrible. Just open the door and let people just run through you. Norwich, you are in big trouble. You've got to sort this out. You've got a long, hard winter ahead of you. You've got some tough games coming up and a threadbare squad. I really, really like Alex Neil, but I fear for you, Norwich. And Newcastle, don't you go getting carried away. Wijnaldum's not going to score 4 goals every game, and you're not going to have people just standing by waiting for you to go through like that. The quality on show in the Premiership, goals or not, is absolutely miserable. This was not an advert for the Premiership. This is just an advert for just terrible defending, a lack of quality, and seriously, all of you deserve to get relegated. Another thing that's really, really, really getting on my thrupneys is that Manchester United are going to win the league. It also really annoys me that I absolutely love the Manchester United manager, King Louis van Gaal. I just can't get enough of him. We feature him regularly on here, and there's a reason for that. He is just box office. He's as mad as a hatter, but he's got so much charisma, presence, and that was a real top-draw Manchester United performance. And one thing I also loved about that is it stuffed Everton and Roberto Martinez, who I just can't be done with. I said it, I'm going to say it again, a managerial charlatan. Manchester United, they're not a great side, but Everton made them look like Barcelona. And you know what? This league is so poor that Manchester United can go on playing like that and can win the league. I think it's between them and City, but I really, really have a feeling that Manchester United are going to do it. Van Gaal usually does something in his second season. I can see it happening again. And it's just really, really winding me up that I like Van Gaal as much as I do. He's brilliant. I could listen to him all day, but it's going to be a sad day for me when Manchester United get those ribbons on the trophy again. Now, the last thing I want to have a whinge about today is Swansea City. Because it's like this season is just like everything I touch. I bigged these guys up, said what a great success story they are, and they still are. It's still a wonderfully run club and a great story. But since beating Manchester United, they have been rubbish. 3 defeats and 2 draws in their last 5. They have 10 points from 9 games. That is staying up form. Now, I'm pretty sure there are 3 worse teams in the league than them. In fact, I saw 2 of them at Stamford Bridge on Saturday. But they really, really need to get their act together. Again, another poor result last night against Stoke. and they seem to be in reverse. I don't know whether they've just finally sold one player too many. They don't really look like they have someone that can put the ball in the net right now. But they need to get back on track quickly. I really, really don't want to see Swansea dragged into a relegation battle when there are just so many bad clubs in the division. Swansea, please sort this out. Gary Monk, I think you're a really, really good young progressive manager, but I just wonder whether you've got some players in there who are starting to believe their own hype. Well, the hype is going, guys. Start getting some points on the board. Start putting some performances in and arrest this slide now, please.